Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about having a Pisces sun and Gemini moon in a natal chart. Now, I'm going to elaborate and expound on that. What I'm talking about is having that sun-moon combination in your natal chart, having a Pisces sun and Gemini moon in your chart. Now, first off, the basic character, which is the sun. And in this case, the sun being in Pisces can be altruistic, compassionate, forgiving, self-sacrificing, confused, and idealistic. Now, on the unconscious side, now the sun represents the conscious side of the person in astrology, and the moon the unconscious side. And the unconscious side, in this case, the moon being in Gemini, can be loquacious, versatile, contradictory, verbose, restless, and mobile. Now, a way that this energy may integrate, one example could be the person may bring that Pisces idealism into something Gemini related, which can include doing work as a driver or news, communication in general, manual dexterity, working as a mail carrier, as some examples. Now, the sun in astrology is associated with our basic wants, and the Pisces sun wants to attain dreams, their fantasies, and ideals. And the moon is about our emotional needs, and the Gemini moon needs to communicate, assimilate information, express cleverness, and even games of mental agility. The true self, which is the sun, and in this case, the sun being in Pisces can be empathetic, emotional, and gullible even. Now, the inner self, which is the moon is the inner personality, and the inner self, which is the moon being in Gemini in this case, can be vivacious, mercurial, superficial, lively, and talkative. And the sun in astrology is connected with our drive and motivation. And with the sun in Pisces, the person may be driven and motivated, which is the sun, to rescue and inspire, which is Pisces. And with the moon in Gemini, a person may do so, feeling more spirited, vivacious, and animated. And this could also, a person may, really want to help others, inspire others. It could be in manifold ways since the moon in Gemini. Now, this could be more adverse if this is in a square aspect. Square aspect is 90 degrees. The thing is, as an example, let's say, well, first I want to get back to the 90-degree aspect. The square aspect, again, is 90 degrees. I use a 10-degree orb if at least one personal planet is involved. In this case, you have two personal planets that would be involved in the aspect. As an example, let's say the Pisces sun is at 8 degrees and the Gemini moon is at 4 degrees. That would form a square aspect. And it could be where, as an example, you could have that Pisces deception and duplicity, making a negative blending, with the Gemini moon need to connive others. And the thing is, I want to get at is this next thing up. The sun in astrology is connected with the biological father. And having a Pisces sun, the person's biological father may be a Pisces sun, moon, or ascendant, or embody those characteristics. Now, the moon is associated with the mother, and with the moon in Gemini, the person's mother may actually be a Gemini sun, moon, or ascendant, or embody those traits. And it's also about the perception of these people. So with a Pisces sun, the person may perceive the biological father as somebody that's idealistic, altruistic, sacrificing, forgiving, compassionate, and a person that sees the whole picture in others. Now, on the negative side, the person may perceive the biological father as somebody that's overly confused, nebulous, ambivalent, indecisive, overly passive, timid, and now the moon, again, being connected with the mother in astrology, the perception, of the mother with the moon in Gemini, can be someone, that's versatile, diversified, adaptable, person that's articulate, um, that's quick-witted, shrewd, clever, but at the same time, they perceive the mother as somebody that's overly superficial, vicarious, mercurial, changeable, contradictory, and overly loquacious. Somebody that might talk incessantly. Now, the thing is, you obviously, first I want to get at is that, going back to the square aspect, if you have, your Pisces sun making a square aspect to your Gemini moon, that may increase the propensity of a divorce or separation at some point between the biological father and mother. Now, naturally, you've got to look at the synastry that exists in between the charts of the biological father and mother in order to delve deeper into the compatibility and synastry between those two people. But the thing too is, you have, like the sun in astrology is connected with our actions. So with Pisces sun, the person may act in many cases to rescue, to inspire others. Um, it can, be to encourage others to attain, their dreams. And the thing is, with the Gemini moon, the moon is about our reactions and responses. With the Gemini moon, the person may react to things, very quickly, um, maybe with a lot of animation, spirited energy, in a vivacious manner. And the thing is, it could also be, when you look at this, combination, naturally there's a strong disparity between the sun and the moon, like in many cases with sun-moon combinations in astrology. And the Pisces sun, the sun is the basic fundamental character, can be very sensitive, emotional, and a person that might desire isolation, seclusion, may often drift into their own fantasy world. But you have the Gemini moon, on the other hand, on a more moon being unconscious, on a more unconscious level, it can be more loquacious and lively, and want to move around more. Gemini, of course, is an extroverted sign. Pisces, is introverted, and Gemini, is very communicative. Uh, the thing is, they might, Gemini moon is more about being emotionally versatile, and generally, doesn't have many sustained feelings. Where you have the Pisces sun with the basic fundamental character can be, you know, um, super sensitive, and Pisces sun, sometimes can be naive, as far as just, the Pisces sun by itself. And Gemini moon, it can be actually on a conscious level, can be more street savvy and shrewd. So you have a very strong, disparity in this, between the Pisces sun and the Gemini moon. The Pisces sun is about being more, intuitive, and the Gemini moon is more about having unconscious, that need to assimilate information and gather facts. And so you have, again, it's a very strong difference between this energy. Pisces sun, the basic fundamental character, can be more lethargic, relaxed, and even stagnant at times. And you have the Gemini moon, which is a very, on a conscious level, more restless, more mobile. You might have a hard time sitting still. So, again, it's just a very strong disparity in the energy. The Pisces sun and Gemini moon, the one thing they have in common, of course, is that they're both mutable signs. So, this combination can be rather mutable, adaptable combination. But of course, you've got to look at contraindicators in the natal chart, such as having a preponderance of major astrological energy in fixed signs and or say a fixed ascendant can modify this energy. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.